We're live.
We
All
are
right, yay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, so I'm Brooke. Shine's here, Carla's here with me, and we're super excited to bring up the energy and kind of explore a little bit about Mount Shasta and the magical vortex that it is. Mostly because we're all going to be there in a little less than a month. We're pretty excited about that.
yes.
Carla and I are going to do a bars class at a foundation, and then Amy's going to join us for some talk to the entities. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled. Carla's out in New York. Amy's in Dubai right now. I'm here in West Reading. I can see the tip of Mount Shasta out my window. So I'll just bring that energy into our fun conversation we're about to explore. And yeah.
I feel it.
Yay. So Carla came out last summer with me and we did a foundation in Mount Shasta. So she's got to experience it a little bit. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience with Shasta or foundation or?
Well, it's so interesting. I mean, first of all, the mountain energy in general just like pulls you in. And it's like you actually in that space and at the area around Mount Shasta, you just get this sense of everything communicating with you. Like every single, I don't know if they're redwood trees or the brooks, it's like you get there and it's like a completely different space and place, and it just opens up well, for me, my interesting point of view, it just opened up my receiving, and I was just aware of absolutely everything being there for me, ready to teach me, ready to give to me, and ready to receive and receive me. So
yeah. Well, Carla is so much to receive the magic of your laughter. So just that was amazing. And then you couple that with, like Carla's saying, there's magic water up here. There's lots of, we're at the headwaters, we're at the top of the Sacramento River, and they call it the headwaters. So there's waters that bubbling up from the earth that you can drink right out of the earth. And there's a lot of lore and legend and magic. And if you're local here or if you visited, you'll hear people talking about the extraterrestrial activity, you know, UFOs and the earth spirits and the Lemurians and just all the magic that comes up when you hear about Mount Shasta. But Amy, why don't you tell us what's drawing you to want to come out here?
Well, I want to know, first of all, who are the Lemurians?
Yeah.
And is it true that they live under the mountain in Mount Shasta?
Yeah.
Do you know?
What do we know about that? I know that there's a strong presence here, and I know that there's a lot of potency and power and earth spirit energy going on. I have a lot of curiosity as well. I've only lived here for a few years, maybe almost 3 now, and I've experienced a lot of amazing energetic shifts with the space I'm in, but also the tools that I'm using. And we're gonna dive into access bars is kind of the first step in. It's a prereq for foundation, a beautiful day. If you just chose that, super fun, can change your world. It's focusing on the points on your head, creating more space for clarity and releasing stress and anxiety. And then we're stepping into foundation, which is 4 days of just really starting to navigate your world in a way that works for you, seeing the places you're stopping yourself. And when we did Mount Shasta, or when we did foundation in Mount Shasta last year, I've done several foundations, and that one was just like so much ease and so much space, and there was so much contribution from the mountain and the energy around us. And I'm really thrilled to get to go play with that again, and in a new space where there's a whole bunch of new tools and access, and what's possible. And Amy, what do you know about the Lemurians and the Atlanta and all the fun lore?
Well, so I first heard of Mount Shasta a couple of years ago, because obviously I'm not born in America, and a friend of mine who's really into, loves going to like different really powerful places on the earth because I do believe, I do get, and we even teach in the Talk to the Entities class about natural portals in the earth, natural occurring portals in the earth that are power points of the earth. And I wonder if Mount Shasta is one of them, given that it's a vortex. So I think a lot of these like energy vortexes in the earth are very powerful, powerful places to be in the earth. And so with the tools of Talk to the Entities, when you have those tools where you can clear, communicate, cooperate, and receive the spirit world, all of that you learn in the Talk to the Entity beginning class, when you get those tools, and then you're also in one of these PowerPoints on the earth, what else is possible? Like, would you be up to, what would you be willing to receive, download, communicate with? It's at somewhere like Mount Shasta. So when a friend of mine went, she said, Amy, it's one of the most powerful like energy vortexes, Mount Shasta. And so when she told me about it, I made it in my world, like that's a place I want to go, you know, like I bookmarked it. And then when I saw you two ladies last year, the year before, were doing foundation there, I'm like, what? Like, how, why, like sign me up, like can we do body class, can we do, and you both were like, yeah, let's do body class. And then we actually got the energy like, no, let's do Talk to the Entities first. And then Brooke, you told me about the Lemurians, and that Mount Shasta has like also been associated with Atlantis. And you sent me the article on the Lemurians. The name was familiar, but when I read about it, and it's like, so it sounds like the Lemurians are like another kind of civilization that like were like the Atlantis people, but they had a different way of being that was different to the Atlantis people. And there was a split between the Atlantis people and Lemurians, and the Lemurians kind of like went off into their own vortex or portal
into the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right. Yeah. And when I was reading about them, I was like, wow, like, so what would it be like? Because the work we do with Access Consciousness is all about creating a world of communion, of oneness, where we don't have to fight, we don't have to separate, that you can have a different point of view to me, Carla, but we can still receive each other. We don't have to go off and create our own worlds. And so I was just like, wow, what would it be like if like there didn't have to be a separation between Atlantis, the Atlantis people, the Lemurians, the humanoids, the humans, like whatever you want to group, you want to put yourself in, what would it be like to create a world where we all receive from each other, even if we're different, even if we have different points of views?
Yeah, I love that.
Love it.
Love it. And I wonder what that could create, just bringing that energy there of consciousness and being aware of everything, judging nothing, and having that space of total communion, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me
you
too.
know, all right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, we've all been in class with Dane here, and he talks about different things with the art, and you know, we talk about different things in classes. Maybe sometimes we might talk about even different planets that we've been on. And I think everyone has a sense of, look, this isn't the only place I've been. And I've been here a lot. So I think a lot of us who get drawn to the work of Access or energy work, healing, we all have some kind of a like, we've been here before, we're kind of bored of this reality, there has to be something else. And we all have a sense of we've been on other planets too. A lot of us in a way. One of the things Dane talks about is like this, there's so much greater, like there's so much more possible. Like even if we've been on other planets and we've had these, you know, great planets we've been on, like what else is possible beyond that? Like there's so much more. So I think sometimes even like stories like Atlantis, and I don't think it's just a story, I really get like Atlantis is like that did exist and it still does. And in whatever way, it's not really relevant, but to me in a way. And so it's like, I'm not looking to define it, but what I am looking at is like how much we go in and we go, okay, Atlantis was it. And a lot of people then like they try to go back to what was. And one of the things I've heard him talk about like is like, we didn't have it right then either. Like if we were on Atlantis or we were on whatever planet, like there was things that didn't work about that planet as well, you know? And so in reading about the Lemurians and the Atlantis people, it was almost like there was a split in the camp, you know, and that they also were trying to be right and make each other wrong, you know, in some kind of a way. So it's like, God, what's possible beyond that? So if you take the capacities of the Atlantis people, the capacities of the Lemurians, the capacities of us, the capacities and energies we have from talk to the entities, from access, from whatever you're into, and we didn't have to make each other right or wrong, what world could we create?
I'm just getting.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and then
so
let's talk about the nature spirits then as well.
right. Well,
you know.
as soon as you, like you're saying, you know, as soon as you heard about the Lemurians and Atlantis, it was like, cling, you know, like it lit something up in you. And for me as well, that just the amount of experience I've had with the Lemurians is not much yet. And yet being here in this energy and having such a presence of them, it just reminds me of, I guess, just how much earth has always been medicine for me, right? Like if I'm feeling spun out, I can go lay on the ground and just reconnect, right? And there's the same energy for me or similar with the Lemurian people and what they are doing or whatever their experience is here for us. There's somewhat of a like a healing and a showing or maybe an awakening happening. And as soon as I heard about it, it's almost just like oh yeah, I remember, even if I'm not cognitively remembering, it was like a reconnection with some very deep healing space. So that to me is really, really fun and feels very expansive and exciting to go play up in that space every chance I get. And I'm, and along those lines, whenever you are exploring your life and you're asking questions about, okay, what would I like to do? Would I like to take this class? Would I like to go on this adventure? If you can tap into the energy that class is, or that adventure is, like, right, for me, tapping into Mount Shasta, it's really light. It's really expansive. And I want more of that. And it matches an energy in my life that I'm creating that's further out, right? My future. And so if you are exploring, just if you would like to come to Mount Shasta, the truth is now the time to come. Yes or no, tapping into your body's energy and your awareness of like, truth, would this create more for me to be part of this magic that these amazing ladies are pulling together up in Mount Shasta? and what's possible there, you know? So Carla, you're flying out from New York, coming out here into the mountains again. And what do you look forward to the most about this adventure?
It's so interesting. So you said you're flying out to Mount Shasta. When we were talking about creating this, it's like, I don't know, Mount Shasta's flying me out there. It's like, yeah, this pull and really being in the massiveness of everything, you know, so my language truly is energy and I can tap into it. And right now I don't have a lot of words. And then is a knowing and a future and a possibility beyond all of our words that I'm already receiving from Mount Shasta. And also really being able to acknowledge the gift that is Mount Shasta and the gift that is me and the gift that is you and the gift that is Amy and everybody who's showing up. And that's really what's showing up in my world right now for the class and for the energy of Mount Shasta and the potency of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to tapping into everybody else's gifts and my gifts and the gift of Mount Shasta. And like, that's before it's like, letting all of that like broadcast out into.
Nice. Yeah, fantastic. Yay. Well, I have one little just kind of nuts and bolts. If you do want to join us, we did rent a big, beautiful house right there, just in the belly of Mount Shasta, just looking up at her. And we have maybe, I think, 2 more spaces available in the house. So the next couple people who sign up can stay with us in that house. Otherwise, there's lots of other places that are really cool that you can rent in Mount Shasta. And would it be fun for you to get to be in the energy of just right there looking up at the mountain and being where class is going to be held and in the magic of that? And I'm sure we'll be doing some fun dance in the evening. Amy, do you want to invite us to any of the fun of that, what that might look like?
Yeah, we will be moving our bodies as well. given that we're going to be like, literally we have the Mount Shasta mountains in as our view. So like we're going to be doing this class looking at these mountains, and then we can go hiking in the mornings, or after class we'll do some movement out in nature. So yeah, this is really like coming back to the art class. To me, Talk to the Entities, foundation, bars, all of it. I remember my first bars class was like, hello art. That's what it was for me. It was like, oh my God, has the art always been like this? Has it always? I danced actually on my golf course. Like I own a golf course. My parents live right next to a golf course, so I call it my golf course. But after my first bars class, I came home and danced on the golf course. And like for me, it was coming home to my body, coming home to the art. And every time I do more access, Talk to the Entities foundation, all of it is coming back to my body, coming back to the art. And that's what I get is where the real magic is. And I think that's what we're talking about too. When we tap into the Lemurians and the Atlantis people, they all knew something was possible with the art and creating with the art. And if we all start to not look at, receive maybe the past and what was a contribution from the past, and then also look at what different future can we now create together with us, with our bodies, with what we know, and with creating something that's never been here before. Like, what would it be like to live in a world where all beings are included, in body and out of bodies?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I just tagged the the Talk to the Entity event in the comments. I don't know, do you want to post the foundation comments in there, or the link to your foundation afterwards?
Yeah, so we'll put the link for the foundation and the bars class in the comments as well. And
we have a couple landing pages to make it easy that we can put in there. I'm just saying we can put our landing pages in there too to make it really easy for them to find what to click on to join us. Also, you could personal message any of us and we can answer any questions about the details of it. But we're just super thrilled. We're excited to play. And what would it create in your world if you chose to join us?
I wonder.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.